We are. We are.
We are live. Fuck it, we'll do it live.
What the fuck is going on? What are you doing?
The sounder I made for your wife when
Oh,
I wanted her to come on the show more often, but she doesn't.
no. She's got her own show now.
Well, she's more than welcome to the sounder.
I mean, maybe now that she knows that she has this as foretold by the prophecy. All right, can we go? Is it?
Yeah.
Is it time? Can we start?
Yeah, we can start.
Cool. All right.
You sure you want to do the show tonight?
Yes.
All right. This week on the Media Virus Podcast, remember the families. I'm starting over. This week on the Media Virus Podcast, reminder to the families of consular officers. If you're going to be a shitty person because you think you have diplomatic immunity, make sure you have diplomatic immunity. Matty Rockdeff is nearly inconsolable as Sam Waterston announces his departure from Law & Order. And syphilis cases have risen exponentially. Officials blame the low upfront cost of screwing. And the video's not running. It's the Media Virus Podcast. Let's point and laugh at the world burning around us with executive producer Mike Latoris. We're going to start over. BBC correspondent Stanley McFadden.
Makes me tingly in an unfamiliar way.
Grease Monkey Pete.
Damn, Big Daddy.
Here's the thing about the Media Virus Podcast. It's really well done.
And now, spreading the sage nihilism of an aged Gen Xer, your host and mine, the star of our show, the incomparable Matty Rockdeff.
Hot damn, do we have a show for you people this week. I am Matty Rockdeff, the mattiest of all Rockdeffs, and proof positive that anyone can have a podcast. Prime example of that is me forgetting that I'm the one that hits the video.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring up, if you look right over your shoulder there, Matt, you'll see where I've put the top 3 teaser that I work from.
Yes.
In fact, this is the document you created when we first started doing this, and we've shared it back and forth. I change it every week. So if you go into the change log, I guess they're all there, but I just delete it and change it every week. I've never looked at the change log. I've always assumed that it's there.
Okay.
So we'll have to check that out. But anyway, if you look below the 3 bullet points, which are the headlines that I read the jokes from,
Yeah, that's right.
We're headlines, right?
That's
if you
right.
look right below that, in parentheses, there's a stage direction.
Mm-hmm.
And
it wasn't there until 3 weeks ago.
It says, no, it was below that.
No, I moved it. It wasn't there.
Right. It wasn't in
it
that
was in the
spot.
document, but it wasn't right there.
Right. But it's right there right now.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And I got to the part that I read.
Yeah.
And I stopped.
Because you're a professional.
And I waited for that stage direction.
For some reason.
It does not apply to me anymore.
Moments ago. It
used to be my responsibility to roll the audio-only version of that clip.
It used to be. Yes, you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. And moments ago, you guys watched me. So, I got to pull this up.
Yeah.
And get it ready. So I had it ready.
Yeah.
So moments ago, I knew it was my job.
You did.
I did. And then all of a sudden, I'm wondering why you're not doing it.
What the fuck?
And oh shit, that's my responsibility.
Why is he just looking into the camera at me? He's staring blankly at the screen.
Well, speaking of podcasts, welcome to the Media Virus Podcast. Please like, subscribe, follow, and share. I want to take a minute to thank all of our new subscribers for their support, whether it is on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Don't get too far away from the mic, you moron. Or if you're just checking us out on themediavirus.com, thank you. And you can give us a call at 646-VIRUS-01. That is 646-VIRUS-01. Another thing I forgot to do. I have a bunch of excuses, I could really just blame so many folks,
You could.
why this is not, none of this is my fault. But 646-VIRUS-01, but that's not it, that's just a scapegoat. That's not really the reason I'm unprepared. Like I knew what was happening and could have started preparing earlier.
That's true.
Especially since Mike called me this morning and we went over what we wanted to do. I could have then taken that and done something. But
and correct me if I'm wrong, but if we were to get sponsorship for our streaming, go to a paid level of service, we'd be able to delegate some of this to Pete and have Pete actually run supers and
right. Well, you would think. Here's the thing. You would really think at this point that Pete would have a grasp of what's going on and take some initiative and go, I believe in this because I show up every week. This is something I do. I believe that this can work. Let me see what I can do.
Well, I even tried to engage him with a suggestion for a paid segment last week.
Oh my God. Oh, he had to pay us to make a segment?
No. Like he could figure out how to get someone to pay him or collectively us for a segment.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, he's on this whirlwind tour of resale shops.
Yeah, he is. How's that going, by the way? I'm always seeing these posts,
right?
From resale, and like you told me, you're not buying all of this stuff. You're just
I don't buy all the stuff.
No, are you taking pictures of things that you buy?
Some of the pictures are of stuff I buy, but I don't buy everything that I show pictures of.
But my question is, do you take pictures of everything you buy?
Yes.
Okay.
I think so.
Maybe. Pete, can I get you to dial back just a dick hair? You're coming in a little hot.
Okay.
This is what you're not going to post. Any kind of electronics. And if they're interesting, you send it to us. You know what I mean?
Right.
You go, hey man.
Hold on. Let me.
Dude, I got this fucking tripod. This tripod is.
How's that?
What's that?
I said, how's that, Mike?
You're good. Okay. You were just when you came in, you were screaming hot.
My mic volume got notched up a little bit.
Now, see, I thought when you said dial it back just a dick hair, you were saying he was posting too many thrift store finds for your liking.
No. I think that should be. I think he should do as much as he can of that. I think we need to come up with some hashtags to go with that, and I think that he needs to work on getting at least one of these store managers to sign on and say, hey, you know what? Yeah, do a couple of posts here, and eventually parlay that into, hey, do you want to sponsor this for the next 2 weeks, the next 3 weeks, and have one of the stores say, and it'll be it'll be Pete's resale segment, whatever we decide to call it, sponsored by, and then whatever store it was, and you go through,
I'll tell you.
You lean heavy on them.
I'll tell you, my roommate has already asked whether she needs to stage a thrift store intervention.
Well, if you're making money from it, she can kiss your ass.
Right.
Well, I haven't made money from it yet, so
well, see,
once
this
I make money, then I can just
That's why we're going down the road of
That's why we're walking
we need to take these posts and punch them up with some hashtags and get some traction on them and show your value.
Speaking of money and potential money making schemes, I've become like entrenched in the reality game show called The Traders.
Okay.
Are you familiar?
I'm not.
Okay. Well, The Traders is on Peacock, and it's a game show where like 20 or so people show up to a castle, and they divide, and the last 3 people at the end can split $250,000 or up to $250,000 because they have to earn the money with challenges and shit because it's a game show. Okay. And so they're all blindfolded at the rip.
Okay.
And then the host chooses a number of traders. In America, it's 3. Okay. And these 3 traders then decide who to murder every night.
Okay.
Murder has been eliminated, but they call it murder. Okay.
Right.
And then after the murder, the group gets together and tries to banish a traitor.
Okay.
Okay. Because if a traitor makes it to the end, if one of those 3 people is a traitor, they get the whole pot.
Right.
Right.
So the idea is to keep the traitors out of the final 3.
Keep the traitors out of the final 3. And like
what if multiple traitors make it?
Then they turn on each other.
Okay.
Because here's the thing. We're in season 2 of Traitors in America, which is fascinating. And I really highly recommend you watch it because it's a good introduction to how the game is played. But there's a couple of things because what America's did was they got like previous reality game show players, people that have played and the champions of these types of games, and Bravo celebrities, people from like Real Housewives and Below Deck and all those fucking retarded shows that Bravo puts on.
Right. Bravo meaning B level. Yeah. Got it.
Yeah. Okay. So, and then they try to figure it out. So since we're in the middle of season 2, like I'm at episode 6 and I'm waiting for the next episode to drop. But since then it's gotten so popular that there's also the Traitors Australia and there's the Traitors UK.
Okay.
So this has been played in different places.
Sure.
And this is what I've learned because I binge watched Australia last night.
Right.
The past 2 nights. Australians are much more intelligent than the United States. Much. From the contestants on the show to the viewing audience.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Well,
like they went and like chose people who were actually like really fucking intelligent and
see here's the thing though. You have to realize Australia started off as a penal colony.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was screaming.
They put a bunch of people on a boat and sent them out to Australia, and the last thing they heard was, "And you go there and you think about what you've done." All that thinking makes you smart.
That is true. That is true. A lot of thinking does make you smart. But the second thing I've learned is you can't trust Australian women either.
Oh no,
you know what I mean? A lot of backstabbing, a lot of conniving. But in Australia, that's what happened. There's 2 traitors made it to the end, and they had one faithful. And I'm sitting there going, this guy already fucking lost. And this is the thing. I figured it out, right? And I might be ruining the show for everybody. The point of the show is not to get to the end as a faithful. The point of the show is to get to the end as a traitor. Because if you figure out too many traitors, they just recruit somebody else.
Right.
So when there was I think there were 6 people left. I think there were 6 people left, and there was one traitor, and nobody was on to her. Nobody. She'd have made it to the end. She was so fucking cunty, right? Just lying and smiling, right? And would do the confessionals about how she has no problem lying and smiling.
Yep.
And and then the only way they actually figure out a traitor in either of the shows I've watched is when another traitor gives up a traitor.
Okay.
And when the traitors have to turn each other to get found out. But the traitors usually turn each other when they hear of another traitor being turned on. So then instead of trying to deflect away, they lean in and try to. It's nuts. The show is fucking insane.
Yeah, it sounds like there's like a
Dude, the whole show. I was streaming at this yesterday. The whole show is a mind fuck. The whole show, because the premise of the show is a mind fuck. Because people are thinking that 3 people are going to make it to the end and split $250,000. That's never going to fucking happen. There's always going to be a traitor there. So the point is to be a traitor. That's the point. So,
Right.
and everybody gets all upset and they get angry at the traitors. And it's like the traitors were just selected. They got no, they can't say, no, I don't want to be a traitor.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because that fucks the game up.
Yeah.
But also, I want to put together like traitors weekends where we fucking orchestrate some kind of fucking, game where we figure out we get a sponsorship, get a pot together.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? I just thought that would be a cool fucking idea. Anyway,
fun.
I don't know how to steer. Give me a second.
Speaking of not knowing how to steer.
Oh, there's a good transition.
Right? Ladies and gentlemen, this is Professor Mike Latoris on the Media Virus Podcast News Network, bringing you the latest headlines. In a surprising turn of events, an Israeli diplomat's son, Avraham Gil, has been denied immunity after a motorbike collision with a police officer. The incident occurred on January 27 when Gil allegedly ran into a law enforcement officer while riding his motorcycle. Despite his diplomatic status, authorities have decided not to grant him immunity, marking a rare departure from a customary diplomatic protocol. The Israeli embassy has yet to release an official statement regarding the incident. Eyewitnesses report a tense scene unfolding at the crash site, with local law enforcement taking swift action to address the situation. Gil is expected to face legal consequences for the collision, raising questions about the implications for diplomatic relations between Israel and the host country. The incident comes amidst increasing scrutiny on diplomatic immunity as nations grapple with the balance between respecting international conventions and holding individuals accountable for their actions. Stay tuned for further updates on this developing story. For now, this is Professor.
You want to see his little bitch face?
Well, of course we want to see his little bitch face.
Here's his little fucking bitch face, little shit. Hang on. There he is. Look at this. Look at him.
Oh, he's crying.
Oh,
he's sad.
Baby. I hit a policeman with my motorcycle. They're gonna make me go jail.
What do you mean I can't have diplomatic immunity?
He ran into it. He hit the cop. Here's the cop's injury.
Oh yeah,
that doesn't look debilitating.
He got a boo-boo.
Well, that's still.
Look, all I'm going to tell you is it may not look like much. You guys
see this?
But motorcycles are hard.
They are hard. Can you guys see this where the officer sustained and it says "and incapacitating" and it's in quotation marks?
Yeah.
I mean, all right. Are you done reading our news copy?
I am. I crashed a motorcycle before. They are hard.
Now, here's the thing. I've never actually crashed like a motorcycle, but I have crashed a really, really high number of mopeds. And
it's not that different.
And
it's not that different.
Motor bikes.
Not that different.
Like a little Honda 125.
Yeah.
I've wrecked a bunch of those. I've wrecked a bunch of those. And that's why I walk like this. Another thing, dude, my buddy had before the Honda Odyssey was a shitty minivan. The Honda Odyssey was like a dune buggy.
Yes, it was a grown-up sized go-kart.
Go-kart.
They were bad.
Was a huge bad motherfucking engine, and it had it had the little.
The controls were on the steering.
Controls on the side.
On the steering.
And it had the roll cage. We had fucking lights on that motherfucker, and we would drive it. And I tell story of the pit in the Poconos often. I don't know. I'm going to turn this just a little bit to the side. I turned the pit in the Poconos was like a playground, but a big, huge thing. And in the wintertime, like it would collect puddles and they would freeze up. Yep. We went down there one time. Everything was frozen.
Yep.
For ice, covered in ice. And we took that thing down and we had absolutely no control over that fucking thing the whole time. And we would just take turns having no control over that thing. And, my buddy got some traction.
I think they were like 125s.
I think they were a little bit. I think they were a little bit. I think it might have been
They may even have been 250s.
I think they were 250s because this thing it would just go, and then. So I'm going, and I caught some traction, and I see this big patch of ice, and my plan, was to cut the wheel and brake, and then, and then give it gas and watch it, the maneuver that you're going to do on a big sheet of ice.
Right.
But God had different plans, and the ice wasn't strong enough to hold the 125.
Right.
Like as soon as I hit this big patch of ice, it wasn't strong enough. And there was a huge puddle underneath. And everything was frozen. I need you to understand this. Everything was frozen, right?
Yeah.
So a huge wave of water, unfrozen water, but still really fucking cold, comes rushing over the dune buggy. completely douses me, and oh my God, like
so
by the time we were done, my it was like a freezer suit. It was frozen solid.
So if you look, I've got some pictures of Honda Odysseys that I'm popping through here.
Yeah, there they are.
And when I was a kid, my dad had a buddy that worked in a machine shop. Used to be a speed shop around here called Poeta Brothers, and the guy worked there, and he drove their he had a little Pinto race car that he drove for them, a drag car. Well, this is the guy that built the engine for my dad's Judge, so they were kind of tight. And his hobby outside of his recreation was ATVs, and back then it was 3-wheelers, not 4-wheelers.
4-wheeler.
So he was doing 3-wheelers back then. It was before the 4-wheelers were actually a thing, right?
Yeah, everybody used to say the 3-wheelers are so dangerous. And then the 4-wheelers, they weren't much safer.
No.
I used to roll those too. Oh, I've rolled many a 3 and 4-wheeler, but never my own. Somebody else.
Butch got into racing them, and like he would go away on vacation for a week or two with his family, and they go to the sand flats up. I think it was Michigan where he was from, and they'd ride and they'd ride and they'd ride. Well, Butch was like 6'6" and thin, a big, tall guy, right? His wife, she might have been 4'9". She was just little teeny lady. And he had an Odyssey for her. And I'll never forget him. We stopped by for my dad to drop something off or pick something up. And he's talking to the guy, and he's telling us about the trip they just got back from and how excited they were. And they put me in the Odyssey and let me sit in it. And he starts telling my dad this story about how it's his wife's. And my dad said, "Your wife drives this?" Said, "Oh yeah. He said, "It's great. She'll get out there and flat. She'll get going. She'll go and hook a hard turn. She'll roll the son of a bitch and be sitting there upside down. And when I catch up with her, she's screaming at me, 'But you son of a bitch, flip me.'" This little tiny lady screaming and hollering to be flipped back over because she was rough and tumble, man. She drove that.
You could roll those things pretty easy.
Oh yeah.
They were back over and they were fine.
Yeah,
like, that's what they were designed for.
Yeah, that's why the roll cage is what it is.
Yeah, but we had some goddamn fun with that thing.
But it wasn't the pictures that I actually went for. I was trying to get more information, so I'll go back here. I just want to see if I can find the specs on there.
Well, probably in Wikipedia. But while you're looking for that, I'm going through some emotional times right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I knew it was coming. It was bound to happen at some point. But Sam Waterson's retiring from Law and Order.
Yeah, man, I heard that.
Yeah, and I don't know what to do. I don't know if I'm going to continue to watch the show, to be honest with you.
Really?
The show's kind of a fucking dog.
Is it?
Kind of a dog. It's kind of a dog. Like, I'm not, it's not, dude, SVU, you got criminal, you got, what is it now? Organized crime.
Okay. That's right. There's like 75 of them, right?
There's a bunch of them, and they just like recycle plot lines and shit. But I'm getting the gas, goddammit. But honestly, like I'm not. There were some jokes that I thought were pretty good in the last one. You know what I mean? But it ain't like the Wild Wild West like it used to be. Like it ain't like they can make the fucking most retarded jokes.
No, I mean Jerry Orbach had some good zingers back.
Jerry Orbach had great. Yeah, oh my god,
They wrote Lenny Briscoe. I mean, he was an old cop that didn't have any feelings anymore.
It was one of those things like, are there going to be any more haggard old cops? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's going to happen in the future? Is the haggard cop the way of the?
I think that's gone away, man. I mean, there's no more Columbo.
But I mean, like in real life, do you think they probably like retire those guys out before?
Yeah, I think most of those guys are getting out of that shit before they get, just beat up and old.
Yeah. But that used to be the great plot line for.
So, in a surprising turn of events in the world of television, veteran actor Sam Waterston is set to bid farewell to the iconic series Law and Order after an impressive 30-year run. Waterston, known for his portrayal of District Attorney Jack McCoy, has been a staple of the show since the early 90s. Fans
now he's the DA now, right?
Yeah.
But he was just the assistant DA before.
Right, he was just the AD.
He wasn't. No, he's the AD now. Like, right. He worked his way up in this fictional.
He was the ADA.
Universe.
Now he's the DA.
That's right.
Fans will undoubtedly miss his commanding presence and unwavering commitment to justice on the small screen. But fear not, as a new face is ready to step into the legal drama. And we're talking about Hollywood fucking royalty here, Matt.
Really?
Tony Goldwyn.
Tony Goldwyn.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is Tony Goldwyn? You have a picture of him?
He is the grandson of Sam Goldwyn Sr.
The
son of Sam Goldwyn Jr., of the Metro Goldwyn Mayer Goldwyns. So like his grandfather started Hollywood.
Holy shit. Do we have
Tony's a big deal.
Oh, okay.
I don't have one. Pete's got one. Pete could share that, I think.
Can you share your screen, Pete?
It's on my phone.
So you're not helpful?
I'm not helpful. It's on my phone.
But
it ain't that important. I'm not that interested. Let's keep moving. You look psychotic. It's going to be another Army.
You'd recognize
situation.
He's been in a bunch of stuff. He's actually a good actor in his own right. He's acclaimed for his role in Scandal and is set to join the cast, bringing fresh energy and a different perspective to the long-running series. Goldwyn's addition is expected to inject new life into the beloved show, keeping audiences on the edge of their seats with his compelling performances. As fans prepare to say goodbye to Waterston's character, speculation swirls about how the departure will impact the dynamics of the Law and Order universe. Will Goldwyn's character seamlessly integrate into the legal ensemble, or will there be a void left by Waterston's departure that proves challenging to fill?
Honestly, I'm giving the two new detectives a shot. For some reason, there's a rule they have to put a black guy with a white guy. I don't know why.
Diversity.
No, but I mean, it's like because they've had 3 seasons. They've gone through like 4 sets of detectives, and I just don't. It doesn't have to, but we could get a little Latin flair. Maybe an Egyptian. You want diversity. Let's get diversity. Let's get an Asian cop. Oh, can you imagine an Asian cop on the edge? With a big fucking Fu Manchu.
And just totally inappropriate accent. That'd be great.
Yeah.
I saw Met today.
So you wanted to share the engine size of a Honda Odyssey?
I was wrong. They were 250s.
Okay.
They 248 cc.
I thought we had settled on that though.
Well, we
proven it.
I verified it. It's for real.
I got you.
So,
Maddie, I know how to help you figure out where you know Tony Goldwyn from.
Oh yeah, where's that?
I'll say one word. Ghost.
oh yeah, he was the bad guy in Ghost.
He was
Oh yeah,
Patrick
I'm
Swayze's
heterosexual.
partner.
Never watched that.
Wow.
I'm heterosexual. It was on while I was with a woman.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you got to fucking watch it. You know
Great movie.
I think I saw. I think I saw Ghost. If I remember correctly, it's a bunch of pubic hair up my nose.
How Whoopi Goldberg in it?
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to the movie, dude. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
I do remember getting that movie on VHS for like $2.99 from McDonald's with a Happy Meal. So
but yeah, if you look over your shoulder there, that's Tony Goldwyn.
All right, so he's got to be much older than that if he was the bad guy in Ghost.
He's 63.
All right, that makes sense. Do you think he has syphilis?
I'm guessing probably not.
He might.
He could.
You know,
you never know. I mean, Al Capone had syphilis and nobody knew.
Shit, Pete's got syphilis. Everybody's got syphilis.
I do not, for the record, have syphilis.
We've got breaking news.
You don't know that, I feel.
We've got breaking news on the public health front. Syphilis cases in the United States have reached their highest levels since the 1950s, according to a report from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Between 2018 and 2022, cases surged by nearly 80%, exceeding 207,000. Shockingly, newborns aren't spared, with a staggering 937% increase in cases over the past decade.
I remember seeing billboards of like an iceberg and a ship, like the old Titanic thing.
Mm-hmm.
And at the underneath the iceberg, the bottom, because it's you see it underwater, it said syphilis.
Okay. I don't remember those.
They're all 95 deep in the city.
I suppose.
There's also a bunch of like Jesus groups that have like put up billboards on the highway. Have you noticed? Oh, also have you seen the Hamas billboards?
No, but
they're anti.
Yeah. There was one. It's on one of the video. I think it's on one of the video billboards. That's on this. It's one that faces northbound traffic on 95 from the southbound side of the road.
Northbound traffic.
And it's a pink background with white letters.
Yeah.
And it says something snappy, but the group, the name of the group is what stuck out at me, and it was something kind of snarky about it was about being Jewish, but it was kind of a like this group has to have some kind of a sense of humor about itself, because
like it was Society of America, or
no, but it was something that, like, if you or I said it as non-Jews, people would think we were awful, but because the Jews are doing it, it's kind of okay. I can't remember what it was, but it was witty, it was funny. I actually chuckled, and I haven't been able to catch it in the rotation again to see to remind myself of what it is.
Those things are fucking distracting, because you see a billboard up, way up there, and you're like, oh shit, what's that say? And then by the time you fucking get to it,
it's gone.
And then you slow down, hoping to see it again, and then you're holding up traffic, and you're at a complete stop, and then troopers are around, they're knocking on your window, asking you what you're doing.
I was coming southbound today, and I saw another one that was similar to it. I said, oh, it must be but it wasn't the same group. Like, I looked at the name of the group, and it wasn't the same. So it
wasn't nearly as funny as a Jewish joke.
No, I was a little upset.
So in the news story, they mentioned that babies were being.
Yeah, they did.
Being born with. Well, speaking of killing babies.
As we always do. I mean.
Jesus. I saw this headline, you know, and now I always gotta look for shit. I never have stuff, you know.
It's right next to it.
I got it now. Here we go. I want you to read the headline because the headline is important, you know.
Okay.
I feel.
Wilmington daycare worker charged with trying to smother child.
First of all, if you can't fucking smother a child, you can't fucking do anything right. All right? And you should be fucking just jailed up for that.
Well, hold on. Because you need to realize this person, as a daycare worker, their sole job, their sole purpose is to keep children from killing themselves.
Right. You just don't interfere.
You know what that means, right? That means you have to be familiar with the ways of killing a child. Or at least the things that will kill a child.
Yeah, give them something they can choke on.
If you don't know how a child is going to die, why are you doing this job?
Right.
You just have to be trusted not to actually kill them.
I mean, not to mention, I mean, I see he's going a different direction. I wanted to really hone in on the piss poor work ethic. You know, the failure to get things done.
Well, clearly you don't know your job.
It's honestly one of the easiest tasks. You know, I mean, if you've set, here's the thing. It's not, killing a child is not an easy task.
No,
okay?
not by any stretch.
Because you have to have a killer instinct, and then it's a child. You know, there's a mental toll.
Yeah, I mean, even
that goes into it.
Even our worst depraved criminals that we lock up in prison,
right? They don't like
will look down upon the people who do bad things to children.
Right. So, like, but you've already decided to do it. You know,
clearly,
you've already started
there.
Like you know what I mean?
Trying would indicate, you know, that you had some level of success.
I don't think so.
Close.
Trying just means
you got close. I mean, if you tried, you got close.
Well, do you know how close she got? Does it give us any?
Let's see. Officers were summoned into Morris Children's Hospital last Thursday for a report of a girl who had been abused at an educational enrichment center in Wilmington, according to Newcastle County Police. Daycare center staff said the child had suspicious injuries on her face when she woke up from her nap. Special Victims Unit investigators learned 22-year-old Samantha Diaz, who worked at the daycare center, had injured the little girl. Diaz was charged with 2 felony counts, 1 of suffocation and 1 of child abuse, and was ordered held in lieu of bail. So they didn't even offer bail for this chick.
Well, no, because you don't know how many, you know.
Right. You don't know how many children she has access to.
Right. And
you know, once you fail, some people might want to go out and practice.
Right. You know, well, maybe there's some salvation for her yet if she wants to go out and practice. But she's not going to have the opportunity because she's being held in lieu.
The victim was treated and released and is expected to make a full recovery. Police say Diaz had worked at several daycare centers, and they're concerned that there may be more victims. Anyone with information is asked to call out to Detective Donovan at 302-395-2781 or email. It's matthew.donovan@newcastlede.gov.
Then your second phone call should be to 1-646-VIRUS-01. 1-646-VIRUS-01. If you are a Media Virus listener and you have any information about this case, once you've told Detective Donovan about it, tell us, unless specifically instructed like not to tell the press.
Now, if you don't want to be instructed not to talk to us, call us first.
That's a good idea. But I didn't want to hinder the investigation. I feel like
we'll pass along anything you give us. That's
a good point. We can be like if you want to remain anonymous,
right?
You can call our show,
and we'll get Pete to call it in.
Yeah, we'll get Pete to go in and confess to it.
Great.
Wait, we already got a suspect.
Yeah,
we'll have Pete go in and confess to something else.
And just have
call.
Once they're ready to convict Pete of something, we'll get him to drop the dime on this girl so that he can get out.
So here's your instructions. If you're a listener of the Media Virus podcast, what you should be doing is calling us, and then no, you call Matthew Donovan, right? Then you give him the information. Then you ask him if there are any open crimes that we can have Pete confess to. Then you write those down. Right. Then call us back.
Are there any open cases we could have our friend confess to? Wow. Oh, wow.
No, Pete's lucky get picked up for something he did.
Guys, they got too much on me on this
Guys,
one.
I'm a serial killer. Can you shut the fuck up? Pete,
don't dig up Pete's backyard, whatever you do.
Pete.
Yeah.
Are you a serial killer?
Just Cheerios, Lucky Charms, and
he didn't
Wheaties.
say no. He didn't go. He thought of an answer.
Cheerios,
You
Lucky
see that?
Charms, and Wheaties.
And Wheaties.
Are those code names for people you've eaten? Was Wheaties a stoner?
So
Lucky Charms was an Irishman?
So we were talking about syphilis.
We were talking about syphilis.
Experts
And,
attribute
Pete- What's that?
experts attribute the rise to factors like increased substance abuse linked to risky behavior, reduced condom use, and challenges in accessing sexually transmitted infection services. Racial and ethnic minorities are disproportionately affected due to long-standing social inequities. And I think when we were talking earlier, that's where we decoded it to mean poor people don't have to pay to screw. So
Right, but you got to pay.
screwing
after.
is
It's either
the
gonna cost-
pastime of poor.
I mean, you can choose the 50, 300, or many thousands of dollars option.
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of
The
payment
plan.
plans.
But I think you should discuss that up front.
Yep.
Hey, if you get knocked up, are you going to do plan B, plan C, or plan Z?
Well,
We raised this fucking thing.
the key here is you should never let it soak too long.
It's true.
That's where the trouble starts.
That's where the trouble does start. But I mean, it seems like we make progress on one thing and then everything goes to shit.
What do you mean?
Yeah. Well, when AIDS was a big thing, remember AIDS, right?
Yeah. Oh, they got all that PrEP medication now.
Right. So we don't need condoms. But there's other shit that you can still get.
Yeah. So
Like
now
syphilis, herpes,
now all these people
hepatitis A through C.
all these people who were
Gonorrhea, is that still
responsible
a thing?
enough. All these people who went out and had unprotected sex and got AIDS are now given a license to screw without rubbers again.
Right. Because you don't have to worry about AIDS. It doesn't, and that's not the only thing. And syphilis just rots your brain. Fucking Al Capone died from syphilis.
Yeah, I mean they can actually treat syphilis. Like they can give you some shots and some pills and you get better.
Well, I heard there was antibiotic resistant strain going around of
I'm
both
sure there
syphilis and
is.
gonorrhea.
Well,
So
I mean,
somebody made a super STD.
yes, they're weaponized. We call that weaponizing a disease.
And it's one of those things where I was watching this. It was a TikTok, and she's a men's rights or a men's care advocate. She lives in Canada.
Okay.
And she used to preach how, like, a high body count shouldn't define a person, right?
Okay.
But she doesn't have a high body count.
Right.
But she met a guy who did have a high body count.
Okay.
And like the itching and smell never, like, was a problem, and she had to go get checked out. And the thing is men have to, and I made a comment that like men should have more respect for their penises.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just because she to me, the fact that she wants to fuck me is probably a red flag.
Wait a minute.
That she actually would fuck
What?
me.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Right? Like, that's kind of a red flag. It's just like, all right.
You want me to put what where?
You know what I mean?
You're sure about this?
And then it's like the whole
Lots of other broads have said no.
right. Broads have run screaming, you know? And here you are, you know, asking.
Yeah.
But
it makes you think. I mean,
you gotta have a little respect for yourself. You know, you have to think about it. It's like,
and maybe wash your dick in between.
yeah, I constantly wash my dick. I rub soap all over it all the time.
You know, it wasn't but last week my wife stepped in while I was in the shower and she thought she caught me doing something.
Yeah, just washing my dick.
She said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm washing my dick." She said, "Oh, really?" I said, "Yeah, really fast and hard."
Really fast and hard. It's really dirty.
Yep, washing my dick really fast and hard.
My wife just completely ignores me when she catches me jerking off.
Just pretend you're not there.
Just pretend I'm not there.
Sets the table, puts dinner out. Vacuums. Steps around you in the middle of the walkway with the groceries.
All right. Well, I think we've blasted through what we've meant to blast through, and we're 46 minutes deep. So this is a 40-some minute episode.
Yep.
And I think you should do the little things that we do.
The things that we do. All right. That would be reminding everybody that tonight's top 3 news in the A block has been brought to you by 302-46-VOICE. If you want my voice on your project, go ahead and give us a call at 302-46-VOICE. We'll work something out. Our friends over at My Sports Art Shop that you can find on redbubble.com and mysportsreports.com are out there making fantastic sports-themed art with all kinds of holiday things and all kinds of great stuff. Really interesting art over there. You can have it put on mugs and all kinds of stuff if you go over there to redbubble.com and check that out. On the Media Virus Podcast Network, we have our brother and sister shows. Our sister show, Stepmoms Without Children. I was on Stepmoms this evening before we recorded. You'll be able to catch that this week on Stepmoms. And our good friend, our brother show, Disruptive Minds Podcast with staff writer Bill. I think Bill uses his real name there, but, he's still our staff writer, Bill.
His real name is Bill.
Right.
I mean,
but like he doesn't say, "Hi, this is staff writer Bill." He's, somebody else over there.
Yeah, I tried to get him to do that, but he wouldn't.
And now that I've told you all about that, I want to remind you that in the B block after the break, we're going to chat about Punxsutawney Phil and Sandhill Sam. We're going to revisit a story about the FHWA edict on variable message signs. And we're going to find out what Big Daddy wants to access this week. That is all coming up on 170. Yeah, 170B in just a few moments. And you'll know that this is over because we're going to do an outro. And eeny, meeny, miny, mo, I choose this one.
That's 14-year-old butthole.
If you're still sticking with us in the live stream, and I know you're not, but if you're watching this later, we're going to keep going. We just take a break for the audio. You can listen to what you just heard. It sounds retarded. It kind of is. But you can listen to what you just heard on anywhere you find podcasts. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Most of the podcasts plays the podcast. Not everywhere you find podcasts. I don't think we're on some of the platforms, but we're on most of the platforms. Don't you worry about it. We're there. We're there. Don't you? We're just in. I'm just talking. Give Mike time to break the audio, cut it, save it, start again. That's what we do. Because we only had, well, when it started, we only had, Wednesday nights to work with. So we decided that we wanted to do as much as we could with Wednesday nights. So we decided, well, we can do a show. And we did a real long show, and people didn't like it. So, because it was too long. And it's intimidating to look at a 2-hour podcast.
Yeah.
That was all the feedback we got.
If you're the first time, it's like, oh, wow.
But then, then what happened was we said, well, we'll break it up into thirds, and that'll give us more structure, and that'll give us, a place to break. And then what we'll do is we'll release it, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So that's what we do, right? And people have asked us, why do you do that? And I tell them, because that's what we do.
That is what we do.
That's what we do. There's no other answer for it. There's no good reason.
No, it was just a choice.
Right. I mean, we've been sticking to it.
Just a choice.
Yeah, I know. It gets confusing. That's another feedback. Now the feedback I'm getting is like, people don't understand A block, B block, C block. Why don't you just do like episode 2 or, and I don't know. That's how we do it.
Yeah. Well, it would mess up our episode count. Right now, I can tell you that we're at 170 weeks of doing the show. I can tell you that I've been here for 169 of them.
You know what? I wanted to bring that up too. And it's not really show worthy.
That you won?
No. I would argue that you were here because you were in the comments. I would argue that you were here to the best of your ability.
I did pop in and check on it.
I don't see that as I had that thought while I was taking a shit. So it's like, and it was a long time after. I was like, I don't think that counts, because if he was in the comments, then he was watching the show. He was, paying attention and contributing. That's his job.
Bad way.
He did it to the best of his ability, and that's the way I count it.
I appreciate that.
It's funny that Pete is looking down at his phone, and there's a lot of jittering going on.
Yeah,
underneath his name. Underneath his name, it says only touches his penis with salad tongs.
Every time I turn away, you change that. You jerk. No, I was doing arts and crafts over here. See, I was doing.
Matt is a dick.
Oh, wrong one. Sorry. I was. Here's the. Losing the letters here.
So I'm getting from this that you have 2 of those.
Yep.
Are you getting like your background together? I'm real excited about this.
I'm doing things. Yeah, there we go.
What are those for, dude?
They're light boxes.
No, I know, but what are you going to do with them? You're going to put them behind you?
I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I'm going to do something with them. But I started with that.
You started with Maddie as a dick?
Yep.
As you should. As you should, my friend. How are we coming along here?
Not too bad. I'm opening my my stories for the segments.
All right.
Something didn't show up. That was one of my.
Let's see.
That was one of my Punxsutawney's that didn't show up. No, we got that one. Was it that one? Yeah, I'm getting a 404 on one of them.
Oh, man.
Oh, well.
That sucks. Which one was it?
The whichever one came from AccuWeather. I didn't. I'm gonna run in and check real quick. We also forgot to mention Carl Weathers. We can do that in this block.
Oh shit. We forgot to mention the death of Carl Weathers.
Yeah.
Best known for his role as Tubbs on Happy Gilmore. And he will be missed. Iconic role.
Yeah.
I think he might have been in Rocky too. Not as memorable.
I've heard rumblings.
It wasn't as memorable. I'll tell you that right now. What's wrong with you, Pete?
I'm still looking at this avatar that says I only touch my penis with salad talks.
There, I took it down. You happy now?
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Okay. I've got my links up.
All right. Are we sharing screens? Let's share some screens. Makes it better. Or we just do it. We'll do it in news.
Yeah, we'll do it in the news. Dun dun dun.
There you go.
Oh, how about that?
That looks better.
Yeah, and your share is still there, so I guess I just have to knock that out.
I can take that down.
Eh,
Is that you?
yeah, that was me.
All that
I bumped
fucking
my microphone cord.
Stop fucking with it. Let us know where we're going.
Hang on. I need a second. I have to sign into a.
I got a free trial to the Boston Globe.
Yeah.
Which I thought was, here's the thing. I looked at the Boston Globe, and looking at when you look at the Boston Globe's website, like their homepage, it looks like a fucking newspaper. And that really gave me this sense of nostalgia. I'm like, wow, this really looks like a fucking newspaper. But you could click on all the headlines. It was cool. I don't know. Because it's one of those things where they show you a story, and then if you want to see the story, they want you to sign up.
Right.
So I did the free trial, and then the story was fucking pointless. It wasn't as good as I thought it was.
Man. Okay, here we go. There it is. All right. All right, you ready to start?
Yeah.
And welcome back to the B Block, ladies and gentlemen, here on the Media Virus Podcast. Professor Michael Torres with you. We do want to do a quick follow-up from a story that we brought you last week that just disappeared from my screen. But our friends at the FHWA had released some up-and-coming rules that are going to take effect, and it became clear that we weren't going to be able to put those funny messages on the overhead variable message signs, but they've
no more fun from the federal government. I wanted a whole tirade about why
you did, but they actually came back, and the FHWA say after the backlash says, hey, look, we're not saying that you can't. We just don't want you using messages that are obscure and would be confusing to a motorist. Anything that's kind of like way, right out there and on the nose is still okay. Just nothing obscure is basically where they went. Till that's funny, road signs will remain on roadways despite federal recommendation to stop. Despite new recommendations to axe funny road signs, Delaware's roadway humor is here to stay. Nationwide reports of a ban on overhead electronic signs with references to pop culture were widely circulated in January due to the latest edition of the Manual on Uniform Traffic Controls for Streets and Highways from the United States Federal Highway Administration, released on December 1.
So they put a bunch of rules down, and Delaware was like, nah, fuck you. I like pop culture references on my road signs.
Basically,
yeah.
According to the manual, which includes a change in the rules governing how signs in other traffic and other traffic control devices are regulated, road signs with references to pop culture intended to be funny or with obscure meanings can be misunderstood or distracting to drivers. Now, the administration, part of the U.S. Department of Transportation, has since clarified the new guidelines to say that what was once thought to be a ban going into effect in 2026 is just a strong suggestion. In the manual,
a strong suggestion.
the Federal Highway Administration states that road
So
signs
it's like
should
stop
be,
signs?
well, all road signs.
All stop signs are just like a suggestion, like the speed limit.
No.
Just a suggestion.
They're saying that they're saying that what they had to say about putting the messages that they put on these variable message signs very specifically, the electronic
They're
message.
saying it was just a strong recommendation.
Right.
Right, like stop signs and the speed limit.
No,
it was frowned upon.
Recommendation.
Those are actually those are actually for real. I promise you.
What do you mean?
Those are actually the real deal. They are, in fact, stop signs and all. They are. They have to actually be, legislated. There's certain, when you see a sign on the road that's black and white, they have to have it basically has to pass they have to pass legislation to put them up. So when you turn into a neighborhood,
it's just a strong suggestion.
No, when they legislated, it's the way that it is. This on the variable message signs is in fact just a strong suggestion. The manual states that road signs should be simple, direct, brief, legible, and clear, and used only for important information like sharing news about inclement weather and traffic delays, reminding people to wear seatbelts, and warning drivers about accidents and the dangers of speeding and or driver impairment. While the administration recommends avoiding humorous signs, road signage meant to be humorous will be allowed if it supports traffic safety, which the administration sees as a top priority. It is ultimately up to each state's Department of Transportation to decide whether or not to continue using them or not. So where does that leave Delaware and electronic road signs? According to the Delaware Department of Transportation, they have no plans to ease up on their popular road humor anytime soon.
Because the people at DelDOT are so fucking funny. They're just they could fucking, man, can they turn a joke?
The public response to DelDOT's safety-themed messaging has been overwhelmingly positive, and our position is that the messaging we use has a safety focus and therefore is appropriate for continued use, according to Charles McLeod, Director of Community Relations for the department. That means signs like, "Come on, Eileen, your speed is obscene," "You're not a Christmas tree, don't drive lit," and "Don't text and drive, get your head out of your apps," will continue to grace Delaware roadways up and down the state
to
help Delawareans stay safe while driving and to arrive alive.
Oh, because if it wasn't for those signs, I would
do a lot of bad things.
Yeah, who knows? I might drive too fast. When I see "Come on, Eileen, your speed is obscene," I think like that's oddly specific.
Yeah, but
how do they know Eileen is driving it? Can you imagine being named Eileen?
And the complex you must have.
You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck?
Can you imagine if there's Eileens out there that are paranoid schizophrenics that are driving around and all of a sudden they look up and they're like, "Oh shit."
Christ. Or just a paranoid schizophrenic that thinks their name is Eileen at the moment.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know what side of this we're on now. So
hey, I've got an interesting question.
What's that?
There's multiple personality disorder, right?
Yeah.
So it's characterized by having distinct personalities. So my question is, what if you have multiple personalities with the same first name? Like all of your personalities are named Bob.
Yeah, you probably have to go on their last name.
Or what if it's Smith?
Well, then you have to go by their middle name.
And you're all Bob. They're all Bob Smith.
You'd have to go by the middle name, you know? Or that person is just really bad at naming people. Yeah. Yeah.
Like George Foreman.
Right. Like
All of his children are George. Even the girls.
You can't blame the guy. It's a great idea.
It is definitely interesting. It kept him in the news longer than anybody ever thought.
It made his grill sell out.
It did.
Everybody wanted the George Foreman grill because he named all his kids George.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a fighter, but he wasn't like.
I named all my kids George so I don't forget their name. I've been hitting my head a lot of times. As long as I can call him George, it's all good.
Yeah, I don't.
That's about the time you usually give the number out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because Mike's being offensive. 646 virus 01. If you want to call and chastise Mike, 646 virus 01.
I'll open the phone lines right now.
So according to Punxsutawney Phil,
yeah,
I think he did not see his shadow.
That is correct.
So that means that there will be an early spring.
That's what they tell me.
And then it's been unseasonably warm.
It has.
So what
that
Pete?
Yes.
Do you believe in the groundhog?
I don't know.
He's got a 38%
accuracy rating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never put a whole lot of stock in Phil.
Well, I like to turn, one of the things I like to do is like watch Groundhog Day over and over again. You know, but
great movie.
But
don't drive angry.
Side of your eye. But the I get with all the streaming services that you got to pay for it. I'm not paying for shit. But so I kind of went on a deep dive.
The trick is you watch that in July when it's free.
Yeah. But I went on a deep dive and on like where Groundhog's Day came from. And it's I don't do you have it pulled up?
I'm trying. I'm wishing that all of these stories didn't disappear on me. Hang on. It's like I was able to see them this afternoon, and now I'm getting 404s on all of them.
Oh, that's fucking fantastic.
Yeah. What are the odds that they would remove the content tonight?
Like,
look, these assholes are going to use it on their podcast. Quick, get it down.
Well, this was somebody's blog. Oh, here it comes up for me.
Okay.
Most of us know of the tradition on February 2nd. Our old friend the groundhog will emerge from hibernation, come out of his den, and predict whether winter will deliver. Well, predict whether winter will deliver more cold weather this year. That's a tough one. If a groundhog sees his shadow, the story goes, he will return into hibernation, and cold weather will persist another few weeks. If not, warm weather's around the corner. The groundhog is a common vernacular name of the ground squirrel, formerly known as the Marmota monax. The animal also goes by other names, the terms woodchuck, marmot, land beaver, whistler, and even whistle pig. All refer to the same creature. And Mike explained to me earlier today why they call them whistle pigs.
That's right. They're stupid. but the sound that they make when they're communicating with other families of whistle pigs, about the areas where they live, it sounds like a whistle. So when they hear one, they perk up and they look around to see who whistled or who shouted. So I went to high school with a guy. He and his dad used to hunt, and he was telling me that there were certain times when they would go out hunting for different things. Like if the hunting was no good, they'd go out in the meadow and whistle and shoot at groundhogs. Because you just go and they all pop up and look around and get shot.
Well, whatever the name, there's a strong belief that this little burrowing mammal predicts the weather, and a specific connection to the second day of February. This groundhog tradition is celebrated in many places in the United States and Canada. Fuck. Sorry.
You all right over there, Maddie?
I didn't mean that for that to come out. And Canada, with an emphasis on the tongue-in-cheek humor and ceremony proclamations. It is best known among people whose ancestors spoke German, especially the Pennsylvania Dutch. If you like the folklore of the holidays, you may be interested to know that the Groundhog Day is related to two of the other holidays we have written about extensively on this blog, which we have no connection to. I don't know why. I'm just reading shit. You know what I mean? Halloween and May Day. In his 2003 book, Groundhog Day, folklorist Don Yoder traces the roots of Groundhog Day to the same cycle of the pre-Christian festivals that gave us those two celebrations. Halloween obviously began as Samhain, and in astronomical terms, these holidays were the cross-quarter days, those days that fall midway between a solstice and an equinox. These festivals were apparently celebrated through Europe by the various tribes we refer to as the Celts, or the Celts, if you're an idiot. Yoder believes that the influence of the sense of time of all Europe and the European colonies in America. The seasonal turning points in the Celtic year were immensely important communal festivals in prehistoric, pre-Christian times. Of these festivals, the dates have continued to be important down to the present time.
Now, Matt.
Yeah.
So did they have ground squirrels or ground hogs in Europe?
Well, no, they didn't, Mike. Thank you for asking. And I'll have to skip a bunch of shit. I don't know where it says it, but what they did is in Europe they used hedgehogs, right?
We don't have those here.
We don't have those, so they found the best substitute. And I think I just made my point while I feel it's interesting. I don't want to get into a whole fucking thing, but
quick, we got to find something that'll poke its head out of a hole.
Yeah, right. But it was formerly known as a day called Candlemas in the Christian tradition. And I don't really know what that means. But if you have any more interest in groundhogs, you should open a fucking book, because we're not a trusted news source. We just read articles off the internet.
My buddy was born on Groundhog Day.
Yeah,
popped his head right out of that hole. Clearly,
did his dad start that joke?
I'm sorry?
Did his dad start that joke?
I don't think so. I
missed opportunity.
Probably. I mean, it could have happened. I think by the time I was old enough to get the joke, it probably wasn't being told anymore if it was there to begin with. But yeah,
he got smacked enough times.
Right. Stop talking about your mother's cooter like that.
Mother's cooter. Oh, Jesus. Well, and but not only that, God damn it. But I gotta go.
Are you able to get to the Sandhill Sam article?
That's what I'm trying to get to. I was trying to get to the TikTok, but there's an article that's even funnier. But in northern Alabama, they don't trust. I guess because he's a Yankee,
That's right.
So in Alabama, they have Sam Hill. Sam.
Yep.
And let me see if I can open up. Did Sand Mountain Sam, the opossum, sees his shadow in Alabama. The groundhog can keep sleeping. Sand Mountain Sam stepped in. This docile opossum, he would have to be a docile opossum.
Right.
Oh, come on. I don't want to sign up. Get your shit out of my way. Awoke at Bama Bucks to predict if there will be 6 more weeks of winter and the event was done in a hillbilly kind of way, according to the restaurant and deer farm. It is a restaurant and deer farm. I
Right.
wonder what they serve.
I hope it's deer.
Here, you guys want to see a video of? Let's see if I can do this.
Here, I got it.
You got it?
I got it. I got it.
You got it?
I got it.
So there's
Sand Mountain Sam.
Ever get a sign the universe is trying to tell you something?
Yeah, they want to
ad.
fuck commercials in our
And
fucking
an ad.
podcast, you bastard. You bastard.
All right, so let me get through that, and I'll be right back with a screen share.
Are groundhogs ubiquitous to everywhere, or are they just an American rodent?
No, I think it's
squirrel?
I think that is an American critter, and I also believe that it may not be native to Alabama. I could be wrong.
No, I think opossums are native to only America. If I'm not mistaken.
Come on. There we go. So here he is. And why do they keep doing this? And here he is. That's Sand Mountain Sam, the opossum girl.
That one belongs to here. They have a fence they give the land.
That one looks soft.
Yeah, it is soft.
I'm not even paying attention to what's going on. I'm trying to find fucking something else.
It is soft.
I mean, it's a possum.
Aww, it's so fat.
It just reminds me of the time
She's chunky.
when I was still in bands and I was married to my ex-wife.
Oh, how cute.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of an asshole. You know what I mean?
You don't
And-
say.
Yeah, a little bit.
No.
Little bit. And
I mean, I have heard that about you.
Yeah, I'm sure you have. See, the thing is that I felt like every practice, my wife would find a way to call me and have a problem.
Okay.
Right. Because she would call every week and have a problem.
Okay.
Right. And it gets to the point, like, I kind of still do, but I used to call her the problem factory. She could just fucking manufacture them, you know?
Okay.
And I should have probably been more delicate telling this story, but nobody pays attention.
It's not like she watches
Like she
every other week with this one.
freaking the fuck out. Just freaking the fuck out. That's this. Something was trying to, like, it was, she's like, I don't know what it is. It's like a giant rat that's white and it's fucking, and I'm like, okay, all right, whatever. I'm like, I'm going, it's a 45-minute drive home and I'm driving home. I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do? Like, what am I going to do? Do you want me to go out there and fight this fucking thing? Like, what am I supposed to do? It's like when when a girl sees a mouse and they point at it and it's running and it's gone.
Right.
There's a mouse. Okay. Well, what am I supposed to do
now?
What am I going to do now? Like, I got to get traps. You know what I mean?
I don't have any duct tape.
You can't even fuck them with duct tape. It's so hard. And I'm not a big dude. It's so hard. What?
So I do have it.
Anyway, so I get home and there was a big ass fucking possum. She didn't know what it was because it was wet.
Oh,
And
yeah, they're ugly when they're wet too.
It was fighting its reflection in the mirror in the window.
Glass.
So I
You
closed
son of a bitch.
I closed the curtain, and it went away.
Okay.
It just went away.
Well, yeah, because the reflection went away when
When I took the light
it
away, I
wasn't
closed the
the other
curtain and it
side.
went away. And I'm like, it went away. I'm like, what are you? I'm like, we're in the city. It probably lives
Yeah.
in the house behind us. There was a
Yeah.
bunch of abandoned houses. There's probably one of these, there's probably
He's actually a neighbor.
what's that?
He's actually your neighbor.
Yeah, you remember Tom?
So I have an opossum story.
They're always fun.
Dickie woke me up out of a dead sleep one night to let him out. So I get up and I stumble to the back door. I let him out. And he goes down. He's taking his whiz, and I heard something move across the yard, and apparently so did he. So he trots over. So I start calling him, come on. And then I hear a little bumping and thumping and rustling and a slight growl. And I called him again, and I heard him come running. And he comes right up over the deck and in, and he apparently had this hidden fairly well. And he got in so far as to the interior door into the kitchen, because we have a little mudroom out back. And I turn and I go to put my hand on the knob to open the door into the kitchen. I look down and I notice there's something all over the door. So I hit the light switch and it's red blood. I'm like, oh my God, are you bleeding? And I look down and he looks up at me with a baby possum in his mouth.
Oh,
And I'm like, oh, dude.
he's been. I mean,
And it
actually, possums are very good. They eat mosquitoes. They eat
it looks
ticks.
dead, right?
Yeah. It ain't.
So I reached down to take it away from him, which he was really unhappy about, but I finally convinced him to let it go without making a big mess. The moment that he releases it and I get a half a step away to chuck it out the back door again, it starts screaming.
Oh man.
And now he gets all that. So I close him in the house, and now I've got this possum. I've got it by its tail.
The media.
I've got him by his tail, and he's wriggling. But I also realize he's so hurt. There's nothing I can do for him.
Yeah, you had to put him down.
So I had to finish him off. And then I get inside. The dog's mad at me.
Right? He killed his toy.
I got to clean up all this blood that he brought in the house. And then we've got to clean up the dog and go to bed again. It was awful.
That's a terrible.
It was awful. And I feel like he still remembers that and kind of just looks at me with a little bit of shade every once in a while. Like, I had a possum once.
I'd have a dead baby possum right now. If it wasn't for you.
Uh-huh.
Pete.
Yeah.
You got a possum story?
Nope.
All right.
Sorry. No, I don't. I don't have I have a groundhog story.
Oh,
Not even a real groundhog story. We just have a groundhog out back under the deck. And the other day, the fox decided that he was going to hang out with the groundhog.
Really?
Like the foxes, one of the foxes from the nature reserve that backs up to our house, like wandered into the yard.
Nature reserve.
Like
that's the tree line that borders the Amtrak rails.
Yeah, no, it's actually a nature reserve back there.
Is it?
Yeah.
We should come over and take pictures. You got a groundhog hanging out with a fox?
I don't know if they're hanging out. Like we saw, like we knew Gary was there under there, or last we checked. And then the other day, the fox, like I said, the fox was in the yard, and my roommate watched the fox just kind of like go over to the little hole under the deck.
Oh yeah, well, what
kind of sniff around and then like ducked in, and like, oh,
like, yo, Gary, you here, man? You here?
Yo, you got any? You hold? Oh, cool. All right.
Yeah, that's what they're doing under there.
Little woodland drug deals under Pete's deck.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we have.
I fixed my sign.
Maddie is an apple. A foal. You spelled it wrong. There's two S's.
Hold on, I'll fix it for
It depends on what you. I mean, if you're not actually counting the star as the as, it's just a hole.
Ah, I see. All right.
That-
There you go. Now you're
Better.
now that's better. That's better. But you know what? Big Daddy's got a question.
The Media Virus Podcast presents a Stanley McFadden production. Big Daddy proudly brings to you
Big Daddy asks,
where do you draw the line for a missing appendage or limb before you say no to banging a girl?
Did you get the wrong one?
That's the wrong one.
Did I put the wrong link up?
Hang
That
on.
was last week's question.
Yeah, that was last week's question. So I just followed your link and
Maybe
downloaded it. That's
Maybe the change I made didn't take.
what the fuck? Come on. Oh, wait, I cancel this. Oh, god damn it. Where
That's
I thought I had
also
it.
don't use the JT the just the tips link. It appears to be wrong as well.
I think just the tips didn't I grab? I don't know. I don't know what I did.
Bogger. I didn't put a Big Daddy ass link in the. Oh, there it is. I should be able to do this. Need to open the link over here. Oh wait, no, I should be able to do it here. Bear with us, ladies and gentlemen. We're working through our technical difficulties. Maybe we did 4 last week. I could be wrong.
Well, this is my fault, but let me see if I can do a fix on the fly. And share.
I got it.
You got it?
Can a woman punch a man before it's okay for him to hit her back?
Did you guys get that?
How many times is it okay for a woman to
Hit a man
hit a man?
before he gets to hit her back. And I like that he used. I like this phraseology. I like the way he phrased that. Gets to, not has to, not has to, not
is forced to,
is forced to, or reluctantly hits her back. No, gets to.
Gets his chance. Now I've gone. Here's the thing. You got to be smart about it.
Yeah.
Like the first punch, you got to start secretly running your video on your camera, right? And you got to get her hitting you. So the second punch, and then even at that point, if she hasn't drawn blood yet, you have to let her try to lean into one of the nose shots and get that bloody nose and get blood on you.
Right.
Then when you get blood on you, I feel like you can just fucking unload. As long as it's all on video.
Mm-hmm.
And just mercilessly don't stop. I mean, no, just,
So when
What
I
do you
was
think?
I mean, in my world, it there depends on the kind of malice that's there, or the way that it's done. Like when I was in junior high, there was a girl that thought it was really cute to knee me in my nuts because you're not supposed to hit girls. I can't do anything back.
I knew a lot of chicks like that.
So, like, my mother became aware of it, and our mothers had gone to high school together, so my mom knew her mom. And when her mom one day said, "Well, the kids, isn't it cool? Our kids know each other and go to school." My mom said, "Yeah," and I told my son that if your daughter knees him in the nuts again without cause, he's to put her on her ass. And the woman says, "Well, but she's a girl." She said, "Right." My mom says, "Right." She says, he can't hit a girl. She said, "I told him to hit a girl if she's doing something like that because it's not cool." And you
got a bigger problem there because that's like it's one of those things where it's a buildup.
Yeah. So like,
go ahead.
The next time she thought she was being cute, she came up and got me, and I doubled over. And with everything I had, I came back up with a backhand and clocked her right alongside her head.
I feel like, like you get hit by a girl.
Open hand?
Like you can return fire.
Open hand?
Yeah. But the back.
The back of the hand is the bigger insult.
Yeah.
My son and I have had this discussion many times, like how insulting it is to backhand a woman. And that's why we like watching old movies, because every once in a while you'll see it. You'll see just, and every time we see something like that, back goes, because when you wet it, it hurts more. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But when you wet it, it hurts more. Like when I used to go up, because he's bald, I used to go up behind him and slap him on his head. When he was living here, I was like, right. And I'd be like, "I'm your dad." He'd be like,
right. But yeah, no,
I like being a dad. It's fun.
Yeah.
I like abusing my kids.
I think she hits you the first time and she gets warned. You got to warn them. You got to let them know it's coming. Hey, not cool. Not gonna put up with this shit. I'm gonna give it back.
Now he was saying punch specifically, right? Or did he say hit?
No, he said punch.
He said punch.
So you get hit.
So if a girl is closed hand punching you,
yeah,
right.
Everybody gets one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if she's slapping at you, you still got to fucking take it.
Yeah.
But closed fisted,
everybody gets one.
Everybody gets one.
I will put up.
And if she comes at you with a barrage, you got to punch her in the throat.
Yep. I will.
That's just what has to happen.
I will accept this one.
Right.
I will retaliate for the next one.
Right. And it like the next day, you gotta take the first punch again.
Yeah, I mean that's just every scenario.
She gets to punch you once a day. Or dude, the second punch.
When the kids were younger, my stepdaughter was getting a little smart one day and then feeling a little froggy, and like squared up jokingly, and she landed a punch on my chest that I thought was going to kill me.
Yeah.
And like she wasn't serious, like she was playing, and she landed a punch that I thought was going to be the end of my, like I thought my heart might stop, my lungs were not happy, like it was like, and I all I did was, as soon as I could get enough breath to actually form words, I said, "Get out of my sight.
You better fuck off right now."
I was bruised so bad. But had she not left that room, it would have been bad.
Yeah.
Because I like.
But you gave her fair warning.
Oh yeah. That's the way it works. Everybody, like I said, everybody gets one.
Yeah. So that's well, that's it's an interesting if you have thoughts, 646 virus 01.
Let us know. We'll add you to the tally, but I think everybody here agrees. Everybody gets one. Unless you get something different, Pete. I didn't hear you arguing though.
No, I'm with you. Like I said, they get one. You know, they come for a second one.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we've all discussed our limits to domestic violence. So
All right.
Let's move on from that. We had something kind of cool to talk about, I feel.
Well, not so much cool as important and sad.
Oh, we waited all this time to say goodbye to
Carl
Weathers died. That's upsetting.
Yeah, he was a hell of an actor. 76 years old. He was Apollo Creed in Rocky, and he was most recently working in The Mandalorian. Carl Weathers, who starred as Apollo Creed in the first 4 Rocky films opposite Sylvester Stallone, died Thursday, as manager Matt Luber confirmed to Variety. He was 76. Weathers also starred in 1987's Predator and had a memorable role in Sandler's Happy Gilmore. He was nominated for a Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Guest Actor in a Drama Series for his work in the Star Wars series The Mandalorian. He voiced Combat Carl in Toy Story 4 and played a fictionalized version of himself in a recurring role in Arrested Development. His other credits include TV series such as Street Justice, Colony, The Shield, Chicago Justice, and Brothers. And the films Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Death Hunt, and The Comebacks. I didn't realize
he was in a lot of movies.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was in Close Encounters.
Yeah.
After working with Sandler in the 1996 golf comedy Happy Gilmore, Weathers briefly reprised his role in Little Nicky and voiced a character in Sandler's animated Hanukkah comedy 8 Crazy Nights. Born January 14th, 1948 in New Orleans, Weathers played a variety of sports, including boxing, football, soccer, wrestling, and gymnastics. He played football in college at San Diego State University and helped the Aztecs win the 1969 Pasadena Bowl. While at SDSU, Weathers also pursued a degree in theater arts, but in 1970 he signed with the Oakland Raiders as a free agent. And he played in 8 games in the NFL as a linebacker across 2 seasons. After his stint in professional football, Weathers pivoted to more serious acting, landing small roles in Arthur Mark's blaxploitation movies Bucktown and Friday Foster, as well as TV series including Good Times, Kung Fu, Cannon, and Starsky and Hutch. In Predator, Weathers starred as Colonel Al Dillon alongside Arnold Schwarzenegger, who went on to become the governor of California, and Jesse Ventura, who became the Minnesota governor. In 1998, Weathers hosted Saturday Night Live, and many years later, he returned to the live sketch show for a spoof segment in which he announces his running for political office on the basis that he was the black guy in the movie Predator.
It's a genius platform, though.
It is. It really is.
Being the black guy from Predator, because the other 2 white guys from Predator
were both governors.
Were both governors, so it just made sense.
When Stallone asked Weathers for permission to use footage from their earlier Rocky films for the 6th movie of in the franchise, 2006's Rocky Balboa, Weathers refused and lobbied for an actual part in the film, despite his character Apollo Creed dying in Rocky IV. Stallone said no and hired a look-alike actor to shoot flashback fight sequences.
Oh, so he was kind of a dick.
The pair reconciled, and Weathers later allowed Stallone to use his likeness in the Creed sequel series, in which Michael B. Jordan plays Apollo Creed's son. In his later career, Weathers landed smaller roles in TV procedurals, and he directed episodes of them too. He earned his first Emmy nomination in 2021 for the Disney Plus series The Mandalorian, in which he played a Grief Karga in 9 episodes across 3 seasons. Weathers stepped into the director's chair for episodes 12 and 20 of the Star Wars spinoff. Weathers is survived by his ex-wife, Marianne, and their 2 sons. So a storied career.
Yeah,
it's really sad. because he appears in a commercial that's actually slated for the Super Bowl, and he looks well.
Yeah. Did they give a cause of death?
No, they've only said that he died in his sleep.
Oh, what a shame. Pete just figured out that I changed his title, and he's freaking out about it, dude.
As much as Pete freaks out.
I'm chill.
Yeah, well, I know.
I got one of these nicotine pouches chilling me out.
I fucking love them. They're the greatest invention so far. But I gotta try to wean myself off of these now. I'm serious. It's because it's one of those things where they're kind of making me sick. Like I'm wondering if my like gastrointestinal problems might be kind of like being aggravated by swallowing all this nicotine. And then, like in the morning when I put one in, I kind of get all like nicotine sick.
Well, that's because you've got nothing on your stomach, and
I know
you're just firing it in.
Well, that's because that's what I do when I smoked. I would just
wake up and go for it.
Yeah, light up. It would, but now it's I can't handle my nicotine anymore. Bastards.
I know, we're getting old, man.
Fucking sucks. I'll tell you that much. I'm fucking sick of it. What else we got for this block, buddy?
That's about it.
Well, then let's finish it off.
Put a bow on it. Ladies and gentlemen, the B block also brought to you by 30246 Voice, My Sports Reports Art Shop, Stepmoms Without Children, and the Disruptive Minds podcast. Just to let you know, we'll be back in the C block shortly so we can finish out this week's show with Just the Tips, number 76. And we're going to discuss why the infection team might just be emotionally retarded. We also have a quick chat about your superior colliculus.
Don't you talk about my superior colliculus.
I mean, it's not like I said.
You want to collect my super superior colliculus?
I didn't say it was an inferior colliculus.
Don't you call my inferior all right. That's done.
So we'll be back shortly, right after I get all the recordings undone and done and redone and ready to go. And we'll talk to you about those things. I promise.
I thought we were taking a break.
All right. We're taking a break.
Break. Bird.
Did you say bird?
Bird is the word.
Everybody's heard about the bird. Surfing bird.
That
the trash.
If you want to have a really good time with that song, look for the version on the Ramones Loco Live.
Okay,
it is if you like the Ramones and if you like the Ramones live and you like that song, I don't know if people are aware of this, but there are some dudes that wear Ramones t-shirts that like love the Ramones live. The Ramones live were fucking crazy.
Yeah.
The Ramones like recorded albums were good, but they were like over polished for the simplicity, and that it took a lot of the aggro out of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I felt like it took a lot of the passion out of it.
Well, I mean, you got an A&R guy there telling you got to do it this way, you got to do it that way.
Yeah. But live, it was the Surfing Bird is a fucking fantastic. Fan-fucking-tastic.
All right. Check.
Check a microphone. Check it.
What else do I have to put on my screen?
Oh, who knows?
Oh, I gotta fix the. Did you make sure that you have the right just the tips? Because this link is the link that's in the show sheet is wrong. I'm fixing it right now.
Let's take a look here. Pete is drinking a coconut. No.
Yeah, I grabbed the one that was close to it.
Is it 74?
No, we should be on. We're going to be doing 76.
76?
Yeah.
All right.
Just the tips with Stanley McFadden.
Something toxic that you like?
When they tell me to shut up, puts you in your place. It's just hot, you know? Like,
Hey, what's something toxic that you like?
being a little abusive. When he get real jealous, when he see me talking to another boy, he take it out on me. So
Hey, what's something toxic that you like?
I like when people don't let me leave.
Hey, what's something toxic that you like?
When my man choked me out when we arguing.
Hey,
what the fuck? What's going on? Are we
That
recording?
escalated.
Yes, I am.
Have you been recording the whole time?
Yes, I have.
Oh, geez. I don't think I've ever stopped Adjust the Tips in the middle of it. But
and if you notice, Big Daddy's joining the party now.
yeah,
Hey.
I added him to the screen.
And also, one of the things I just noticed in the TikTok that he shared in this video, it would appear that they've used a white box to block, I guess, nipples.
Looks like.
So apparently her headlights were on in such a way that they couldn't put it on social media.
Wow. That's fantastic. I wish
She's
I could.
going to have some spectacular headlights.
All right. So let's keep. Should I start it over?
Yes.
Yeah, because I mean, that was hard.
All right. You want to go through the whole thing or just start?
No,
the
you
TikTok?
don't. Just start from the beginning there. There you go. Right there.
There we go.
Something toxic that you like?
When they tell me to shut up, puts you in your place. It's just hot, you know? Like,
Hey, what's something toxic that you like?
being a little abusive. When he get real jealous, when he see me talking to another boy, he take it out on me. So
Hey, what's something toxic that you like?
I like when people don't let me leave.
Hey, what's something toxic that you like?
When my man choked me out when we arguing.
Hey, what's something toxic that you like?
I like causing a scene in public so I can embarrass you. Like,
Hey, what's something toxic that you like?
I like when my dude like yell at me a little bit. Like,
Hey, what's something toxic that you like?
when they're controlling, like tell me what I can and can't do.
Mine's when he gets into fights with other guys.
Oh yeah.
You can fight? Okay.
Yeah, I came with him.
Hey, what's something toxic that you like?
I like to manipulate people. Sometimes when I know that their emotions are easily manipulated.
Hey, what's something toxic that you like?
Oh, we at least gotta break up once a week, so I know you still love me.
Hey, what's something toxic that you like?
Like when she like the grade me.
Hey, what's something toxic that you like?
If you don't think I'm right, I gotta start a fight with you.
not knowing what to expect one day and the next day you're just being f***ed over.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the Media Virus Podcast. It is I, the one and only Big Daddy, Professor Big Technology from the U of V, bringing at you another episode of Just the Tips. Tonight's episode number 76, Toxic Traits. Now, as you can see in that video, lots of people have toxic traits that they like. A lot of stupid fucking people in this world. This is a good catalog of toxic traits that exist in society, as well as a catalog of people that are going to be lonely as fuck in the next 5 years, probably 10. How about this? Here's an idea, revolutionary as it is, as only the Media Virus Podcast can bring to you, its listeners, revolutionary, new, and exciting ideas. How about you not have a partner that's toxic? How about you find yourself trying to maintain a partner that doesn't have toxic traits. There's an idea for you about you actually be happy in a relationship. When you see bullshit like that, leave. Toxic traits come from toxic people. So what the fuck are you doing? And when you see a toxic trait once, it means you're going to see it again. And here's another hint, or heads up. A toxic trait that happens at a level 2, well, it can't start at a level 2 the next time, can it? It's got to be at a 3. And the time after that, it's got to be at a 4. And the time after that, it's got to be at a 5. And the time after that, it's got to be at a 10. Now, how far into the relationship are you going to go? Are you going to get to before you turn around and all of a sudden you're at an 11? And now someone's getting murdered. All from a toxic trait that you decided to let slide from the beginning. Gentlemen, we are kings, worthy of queens. Stop fucking these court jester bitches. Find yourself a queen worthy of the king that you are. And when you see toxic traits, leave that situation. And if you find out that some of them toxic traits are yours, fix your shit, you toxic fuck. Toxicity has no longevity. Toxic traits in toxic people deserve solitude. Leave them hoes alone. Fix your shit if you need to. Find people that got their shit together. Until then, Media Virus Podcast. Big Daddy Just the Tips. Happy fucking.
Important information, important tip. Not that I want to play point counterpoint here, but for those people who have toxic traits, what I recommend doing is hiding them for a while. And you let your fury build up inside you. And then when you're going to unleash the toxic trait, it's a 10. And then you can plead insanity. You can say you just snapped.
And then you choke a bitch, which is exactly what she said.
Well, that one lady seemed to really enjoy being choked when in a fight. There was a lot of strange, lot of strange answers there. What I did enjoy that there were some that were like, this is what I like. I like to be abused.
Right.
And then there were some that were, oh, this is what I like. I like to abuse people.
Very telling. Yeah. I mean,
and I would imagine that there were, I'm going to imagine that there were a lot of people that dude went up to and go, what? I don't like toxic traits. I don't, or that dude was really good at picking out. It ain't hard, just find some bitch with some loud hair color, she's got daddy issues.
But, his question was kind of flawed because I would have answered entirely differently. Because he walked up and he said, hey, what's one thing that's toxic that you enjoy? And, my answer is cocaine. I mean, that's a toxic thing that I enjoy.
Well, what he was asking, what's a toxic trait?
But that's not what he said.
My toxic trait that I enjoy is spreading syphilis. I am exhausted because I have been fucking as many pregnant women about to give birth as I possibly can to get the birth rate of syphilis as far up as I can get. Trying to get to 1,000%.
I'm going to say it's at 937. You got a little ways to go.
It's funny bringing back an A block story. We were talking about the rise in syphilis.
Didn't even see it in the
Big Daddy single-handedly bringing the rise of syphilis back.
Okay, well then we've mystery solved.
That's why I'm so tired now.
I thought I just accused Pete of having syphilis, but that's a flawed. What's this? What's going on?
They call me. That's why they call me Patient Zero.
Rick's Food Shows commenting. Where do I get to the comments? There's comments. There's a comment. We'll put cheese on your Whopper. Okay. How come that doesn't? Oh wait, here we go. There we go. Now we can have that up. So
she's laughing at Dre's avatar.
Yeah. So that's
yeah. We all have our lower thirds down there.
That's right. And
my tactic trade is I will put cheese on your Whopper.
He will put cheese on your Whopper. That was from like a Just the Tips like 5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rick's Food Show. Go ahead.
I think that was the one about splitting, like stop paying a whole bunch of, like, don't take a bitch out. It was the friend zone one.
Yeah.
Friend zone means that she can y'all need to go to Burger King. You can pay for her Burger King. You can get some extra cheese on your Whopper. I'll pay for that, but I ain't paying for lobster dinner.
I don't blame you.
Also, tell us about cocaine. Well, to quote Rick James, cocaine is a hell of a drug. The man was not, in fact, wrong. He really was not. It is a hell of a drug. It's different.
It's built different.
It is different. And Rick's Food Show comments. I can say with the most happiness that I've never listened to a single Just the Tips.
Then you have not truly lived, my friend, until
She doesn't.
Your sex life will be entirely transformed by listening to Just the Tips.
I didn't say it, and I don't necessarily think that, but
transformed if you would listen and employ the tips and tricks that Big Daddy provides for you on the Media Virus podcast.
The opinion.
Her response to that is, "Girl, please."
Within the Just the Tips is our tips and tricks that can ensure with 98% accuracy a woman's orgasm and a man's orgasm. Now, you tell me how many places you can guarantee with 98% perfection.
You have given many of an instruction on how to please a woman.
Yes,
and you've given many instruction on how to please a man.
Indeed.
So, or at least how to please you as a man. You know,
a lot of us are universal. Pretty sure.
I got.
Pretty sure we all enjoy the same 3 to 5 things.
But we have a list.
We do.
We have a list that of things that people talk about when they are not emotionally intelligent, and it is it corresponds with the show sheet.
It's also an extremely damning report on the on the infection team.
That's what I was going to say. They could you could compare it to the show sheet, and it's
it is entirely damning. So this is the nine things that people bring up in conversation when they probably lack emotional intelligence. So if someone brings up these 9 topics in conversation, they probably lack emotional intelligence. All right, let's dig in. Fine line. Constant negativity.
I mean, not for nothing. I wouldn't be constantly negative if the world wasn't going to shit. You know what I mean? Like, if things were like fine and dandy, then we talk about those fucking things.
Right. We
you know, but we had a woman that didn't even have the work ethic to kill a toddler. She got charged with attempted murder of a toddler. If you can't do that, you can't do anything right.
I mean, you're at least 3 times their size.
Right? If you can't smother a toddler, the fuck? All right. And hang on, here's a comment. Why is Matt making this about him?
Okay, apparently Rick is new to the show. Jesus.
Yeah.
Personal dramas.
She just figured that out.
We all overshare our personal dramas in life, challenges, but there's a time and place to share them. I remember having a conversation with a friend who I hadn't seen in a while. Within 5 minutes of meeting, she starts sharing intimate details about her recent breakup. It was uncomfortable, inappropriate. You put the dig in my way.
I'd just like to reiterate. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I'm reading the thing. We were in a public coffee shop, and I barely had time to sip my latte. My point being, constantly oversharing and bringing up personal dramas can indicate a lack of emotional boundaries and self-awareness, key aspects of emotional intelligence. Remember, a conversation should be two-way street, not a therapy session. Now, here's what I do. I just don't say anything. I don't talk to anybody. People it's funny. Like I talked to my nephew just went through a recent, thing, and I'm talking to him, and I'm like, or like when you talk to somebody you haven't talked to in like years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How you doing? Well, my life's completely different than the last time I talked to you.
Yep.
And if I get into it right now, one of us is going to have an emotional breakdown. So I just put fine.
Yeah, what's funny is that when we ask people how they're doing, we don't actually want to know how they're doing.
Yeah, I don't. You don't care.
I think
something nice you say.
See, here's the thing. Sometimes I do. You know what I mean? Sometimes I ask people how they're doing, and I genuinely care, how they're doing. And then you get some, and then they ask me, and I wonder, like, do they genuinely care? Like, do they want to know?
Are they just asking me because I asked them?
Are they? Right? It's, so I think I'm oversharing now. What's the next one on the list?
Gossip.
I
mean, gossip is fucking awesome.
I feel like gossip is our favorite topics.
Yeah,
gossip is pretty awesome.
It is good.
And funny story. I've worked in management for a significant portion of my life, and the one thing I've learned about gossip is men are far worse than women. Gossip.
Stories are funnier.
We gossip like fucking bitches, man.
Yeah, everybody got. I mean, it's buntinje, as my wife would say. But people with high intelligence tend to focus on ideas and constructive conversations rather than discussing other people's lives in their absence. They understand the negative impact gossip can have on relationships and work environments. In fact, research found that people who gossip frequently have lower levels of self-esteem and social desirability. This suggests that the use of gossip as a way to feel better about themselves and fit in with others. So if you notice someone regularly bringing up gossip in conversation, it might be a sign that they need to work on their emotional intelligence. But I'm not a big gossip. And when gossip happens, I kind of turn there's some shit that you just want to know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But there's other stuff where it's
money.
It's a tricky subject. Oh, go ahead.
It's a tricky subject to navigate in conversations. While it's perfectly normal to discuss finances in certain situations, continually bringing up money can be a sign of low emotional intelligence. People with high emotional intelligence understand that constantly discussing their financial status, whether it's bragging about their wealth or complaining about their financial woes, can make others uncomfortable. They know how to gauge the appropriateness of such discussions based on the social context and the people involved. Here's another one we do. Controversial topics. And we strive to have controversial topics on the show.
We do look for controversial topics here on the show, but it's just, I think it's not that we're lacking intelligence. It's just that we know that anyone that would pay attention to the show lacks emotional intelligence.
Yeah, our key demographic is emotional
idiots.
retarded.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Discussing controversial topics like politics, religion, or sensitive social issues can be a minefielding conversation. While it's important to have open discussions about such matters, continually steering conversations towards these hot-button issues can be a sign of low emotional intelligence. People with high emotional intelligence understand that these subjects can invoke strong emotions and divide opinion. They tread carefully, ensuring they're in appropriate settings and speaking with someone who's comfortable engaging in such discourse.
You know, speaking of emotional intelligence, if you want to have a lesson in how emotional intelligence has progressed over the years, go watch Ted, the show.
Okay.
Based on the two movies, the Seth MacFarlane sitcom. It is set in 1993, and he's a junior in high school, and you learn all this kind of as you through the show that it's 1993, and he's a junior in high school, and then I know for me and you, we were juniors in high school in 1993.
Yes,
so the family life at home, I think, is very recognizable.
Okay,
it's a mom and dad, and you know, they took in a niece that's going to college.
Okay.
And you know, the kid and the teddy bear. The teddy bear kind of takes it. Teddy bears is where you have to kind of like suspend disbelief, you know.
Right. Because I may have trouble relating to that because I didn't have a talking teddy bear.
Right. It can be, but if you had an asshole friend, it's very relatable.
I had plenty of those.
I was one of those.
I probably was too. To be entirely honest, I probably was too.
If you watch, it's funny, it's fucking terrific. But if you pay attention to the mom and the dad, they are like quintessential New England parents in 1993, and the only difference between the quintessential New England parent and anywhere else is the spike in racism.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit, and maybe not for everybody. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's racists everywhere.
Sure.
You know, but not so much racist, but like really closed-mindedness.
Yeah.
And it is fantastic. I have belly laughed at this thing.
Oh.
Just completely belly laughed. And it's just it's complete lack of emotional intelligence is why it's so funny.
I'm going to have to find some of that.
Yeah. I recommend it.
And you know, this actually relates because Seth MacFarlane has a lot of personal achievements. My guess is he probably doesn't talk about them.
Probably not. I've heard he's like the coolest guy you can like hang out with.
I've heard the same.
So
I would love to
fucking hang out with Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah, I think that would be pretty good time. We all feel proud of our accomplishments, and it's natural to want to share them. But continually steering conversations towards one's own achievements can suggest a lack of emotional intelligence. People with high emotional intelligence celebrate their successes, but also show genuine interest in others' achievements. They understand that empathy and mutual respect form the backbone of a meaningful connection.
Well, don't really have opportunity to talk about those much.
Well,
here we go.
We do talk about other people.
We talk about other shortcomings quite often.
Yep.
Quite often.
In fact, if you can almost be guaranteed that if there's a story on our show, we're talking about somebody's shortcomings in that story.
That is true. And there was a time when I found myself conversing with a colleague who seemed to take an unusual interest in pointing out others' flaws. It was not only uncomfortable, but also made me question the intent behind these observations. People with high emotional intelligence understand that focusing on other shortcomings don't elevate them. Instead, it makes them really funny. Oh, no, it reflects poorly on their character.
You misread that, didn't you?
When they choose to celebrate strengths and encourage growth rather than dwell on weakness, it's better to do that than to point at midgets with one arm. Frequently bringing up the other shortcomings in conversations may suggest a lack of empathy, which will take you far in life, and emotional maturity. Constructive criticism is one thing, but constant fault finding can be damaging and unproductive. Always aim for conversations that uplift rather than tear down.
Do you think we could film and distribute a midget porn called Shortcomings? I think that's a brilliant name for midget pornography.
Yes. And what I think we should do is put like an ad in the paper. Or not, there's no paper. In like Craigslist.
Right.
Looking for a midget porn actress.
I think we should get two. Because
then I feel like the male star is going to have to be Big Daddy.
I would agree to some extent.
I'm willing to sacrifice myself for this.
But I feel like midget on midget porn is something that needs to be addressed because there's not a lot of that available.
No, there's a surprising amount, actually. You'd be surprised.
We'll have to talk later. What I'm finding, I'm not liking. So, number 8, appearance. Specifically, their own appearance.
Well, I mean, I'm so fucking good looking.
While it's perfectly okay to talk about personal style or grooming habits, constantly focusing on one's own appearance can indicate a lack of emotional intelligence. People with high emotional intelligence understand that while outward appearances matter, they don't define a person's worth or capabilities. They are more interested in understanding people's thoughts, feelings, and experiences rather than fixating on their looks. If you notice someone,
I say at this point, why would we limit ourselves to only 2 midgets? We should put out a casting call, and then here's what we do: is we're trying to cast the midget on midget porn.
Right.
Okay. Midget on midget lesbian porn.
And Big Daddy will be the stand-in.
But
in
Big Daddy's
every audition.
It's like casting couch.
Right. And he'll be the stand-in playing the other lesbian in every casting.
Yeah. We're gonna run through your lines. Okay, now you start out with
could we back up? I'm gonna need you to take it from blah, 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 again, please.
Now we don't there's a dildo in the scene, but we don't have a dildo here. So we're gonna have to find a substitute for the dildo. You know what I was just thinking? Something just dawned on me real quick. Okay. I was thinking I have a friend. Let me go get him.
Stunt cock.
I used to work.
What sucks is to think that somewhere there is a guy who went to film school, paid thousands of dollars to go to film school, graduated, got his certificate, and right now he is filming a first-person perspective cum shot.
True.
Because he knows how to make money. You gotta put out the work to make the art.
You know what else is odd? You have to think about it. You have to figure that there's also a guy with very similar credentials who is right now watching the Media Virus podcast saying, these sons of bitches have a brilliant idea.
I think this is, so then we can have all the casting couch videos, and then we can make the video. It's a win-win-win-win.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So there's also one-sided conversations that come up.
I mean, I don't know about one-sided conversations, but we could make some one-sided porn too. We could take the midgets and we could have them diddle themselves on camera.
But only from the left side.
Yeah, it's one-sided.
I was gonna say you just flip them on one side.
Yeah. If you find someone constantly dominating the conversation, leaving little room for you to express your thoughts or experiences, it could be a sign of low emotional intelligence.
I think the thing about midget porn is you could probably just pay them about half.
Or by the pound.
That's a good one too. That's a good thought. All right.
I mean, how great would it be to ask someone to step onto a bathroom scale and then tell them how much they're going to get paid? Hop up here. Okay. 39 cents a pound.
But after I don't know, where we'd have a problem is when Big Daddy went to the kind of girls he really likes. Then we'd be losing money. You know?
Not if they're only half as tall.
Being an engaged listener is a vital element of emotional intelligence, not just hearing words. It's about showing genuine respect and interest in what the other person shares. When someone falls short in this department, they're basically skipping out on a fundamental aspect of creating meaningful connections.
So, Matt, I hear what you're saying about creating not only a midget porn, but a world of midget porn.
Yeah, like a universe.
Yeah,
like Marvel or Dick Wolf.
Right.
Yeah.
It would be the Shortcoming universe.
That's right. I was kind of hoping after I read that paragraph that Pete was going to chime in, and I was going to tell him to shut the fuck up. That would have been so golden. That would have been so perfect.
Pete can see that shit coming from a mile away, though.
I know. That's why I was hoping he'd fucking bite. What's going on, Pete?
Not much.
No?
No. It's been really slow this week.
Yeah?
Yeah, it hasn't been a great week.
Has not been a great week out there.
Are we done with the list?
Yeah, that was it. All 9.
That was it. All 9.
That was it. So, you gave Matty Rockdeff syphilis. You thought you could change. I'm going to tell you something.
Gave Matty.
Wow. I was waiting for him to notice that. I pointed. I was like, dude, yeah, check it out.
There.
Is a gay.
I don't know why that always strikes me so funny when someone's, he's a gay. Instead of just saying he's gay.
Right.
He's a gay. That makes me laugh. All right. I'm going to change that real quick.
So,
anyone got anything to chime in? Come on, Jesus Christ!
No, I'm winding down, man. We're coming around on the end of the.
I fixed it,
Charlie.
Yeah. Good.
Oh,
170 Charlie's almost to an end.
That is true. That is true. But Big Daddy, what's going on the improv front? You know, my wife offered to send me to improv classes.
Uh-huh.
I think I'd like to go to improv classes. She said, "Hey, do you want to go to improv classes?" I'm like, "Yeah, okay. That sounds cool."
Downtown Wilmington has them 20, I think it's $20, and you get into the improv show for free with the cost of that. I believe the next class is in March. The next show for Fearless Improv is February 16th. It is a Friday. Tickets are, I believe, $20. The last 3 shows have all sold out. So buy them online, buy them now.
Wow. That's fantastic.
And the next Forgetful Squirrels show is in Elkton, Maryland. That's 919 Bouchelle Road. That show is this Friday. Doors open at 7. Show starts at 7:30. You can find your tickets on Ticket Leap. Go ahead and make a reservation. Those are free, but reserve a spot now because that will also sell out. And that has been standing room only for the last, I don't know, year.
Wow.
I used to work for Ticket Leap back in the day. I worked for them like 2 months. They showed the movie. They suggested the movie Boiler Room as a training video.
Huh.
So there's that.
So, did it occur to anybody else that Ricky Rockdev said to herself, "How can I make him funnier?"
Yes, I think that's exactly what.
How can I be better entertained at home?
She let me buy a book, the Comic Toolbox. So that's got some worksheets or little exercises to go through.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm not good at
it. Turns out I'm not funny.
I'm not funny. I figured that out.
I'm not
I'm funny to me.
Mean.
Me alone.
Just mean.
Just if I can just watch Law and Order.
I often laugh at you.
Yeah.
With you.
Yeah, sure. I got a kick out of Law and Order today.
Okay.
Because the Captain Cragen, the two Stabler and Benson.
Yeah.
Okay. And the assistant district attorney. And they're talking at a cafe. Okay.
Okay.
And as they're talking, there's a waitress setting up the table. Right. And the conversation that they're having is like, well, he was convicted of 3 rapes that we know of, but there could have been 30 women he raped. He was known as the duct tape rapist, for Christ's sake. Rape.
And the waitress continues to set the
reaction,
table.
Just like she's just setting the table.
Some director told her to do that. Somebody said, all right, you're going to set the table. It doesn't matter what they talk about. You're just going to put silverware down, fold napkins, and get the fuck out of there.
That is a skill.
Yes, it is.
To listen to a conversation that is wow and not react.
I was fucking laughing so hard at that.
But
just because of the juxtaposition, like this woman's just sitting, like it's her, she's just at work, setting a table, and she's got to hear about the duct tape rapist.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Not necessarily the duct tape rapist, but with driving for a rideshare, Pete and I see that often. There's a couple of kinds of riders. Some riders want to talk to you, some don't want to talk at all, and then you get there's 2 kinds of riders that have conversations with their friends in the car. And this is either on the phone or in the car, but there's 2 kinds of people that have these conversations. There's the people who are completely cognizant you're there, and they're trying to keep it quiet, but they don't realize that you're in a car that's, the size of a car. Yeah. And you can still hear them. And then there's the people who, for some reason, think that because you're an Uber driver, you are literally paying no attention to what's going on inside the cabin of the vehicle.
Or you don't.
And they have conversations as if you weren't there, or just like, they talk about things just like maybe the cat's in the room.
Hey, Mike.
You said you had something today?
Well, I got a couple of things, Professor. Have you ever listened to a conversation, and they think you're not listening? I just randomly say the word facts, and
yes.
They stop and they're like, "Oh shit, he's listening."
I've done that. Facts are true. Dat.
Have you ever heard? Oh, if you've got 2 people in the car, have you ever heard the second person in the car's eyes roll?
Yeah.
I heard that today. The one rider was talking to, I guess, her girlfriend or something about eyelashes and hair, and going on and on and on, and I could hear the other rider's eyes just rolling.
I had a ride one night. I picked a couple up at a swanky little drink spot, and I was taking them on what ended up being a fairly long ride. And they were chatting amongst themselves about the evening and plans moving forward. And it was clear that they were trying to be quiet, but again, like I said, we were in a car. So
a car-sized car.
Right.
Car-sized car.
So there's not much keeping anything from anybody that's in that space with you. And it became very clear to me that they were talking about their recent experience in this bar that I picked them up at, where they met another couple. And through listening to the ensuing several minutes, it became very clear to me that they were swingers. And it was their first time meeting this couple, and they were trying to figure out how they could fuck them.
So they figure it out?
There was not.
Did you volunteer?
I did not. I did not. But there was also not full resolution by the time I dropped them off.
Were they worth fucking?
Eh.
See, that's the thing. I've noticed most swingers ain't worth fucking.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to fuck that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, is it just like, hey, I'm ugly, but I can fuck a lot of other ugly people? Woohoo!
I mean, I'm sure it happens.
Ugly, it's fine.
That is occasionally the scenario. I know our friend Shecky has performed at some swinger events, and
yeah, we've had this conversation before.
He's had some wild stories, but it's definitely odd when people who are literally 2 feet away from you are having a conversation as if you're furniture.
Well, yeah, because I mean, to you were just the help, to them.
In some cases, yeah.
You're just the rideshare driver. You don't have to.
The ones that I like to do, like college age girls. Well,
yeah, I like to do them too.
We'll start having these conversations about guys, and some of it is just like it's so nonsensical that I almost laugh out loud. So I'll often comment on that, and that always ends up being fun.
I feel like maybe we should play some of this audio. You record everything, don't you?
It records on a loop, and it doesn't save. I hold on to it long enough that if I need it to save my butt from something.
No, I know, but if you've had a ridiculous conversation, you can just download it.
Yeah, but if I release any of the recordings from the car, I can be turned off. So that will never happen.
Even if it's just audio?
Yeah. Even if it's just audio, I'd have to have even if I have releases, there's problems. So I can only relate anonymized stories.
But what if we do like change their voices?
I'll have to look a little deeper and see if there's any way around that.
I mean, I would love to have ridiculous car conversations.
I'm sure
that'd be fun. Big Daddy looks like he's falling asleep.
Big Daddy has been awake since 3 a.m.
Wow, you got up earlier than me today.
I've been up since 8.
And as I said, I've been spreading syphilis all day.
Well, somebody's got to.
It's got to be done. Someone's got to get this percentages up. Got a deadline to meet.
I mean, you've done a hell of a job. 80%. It's good stuff. Good stuff.
No child left behind. Trying to get it up to.
Oh.
We're gonna create our own race of syphiloids. They'll be completely immune to the effects of syphilis.
And my gonorrhea has gone away, so that's good.
Well, the syphilis fought it off. That would be cool if others' diseases.
Yeah, you just get. Yeah, just get the one that kills it.
I think that's an actual medical like strategy sometimes.
Oh yeah, they put tuberculosis in my dad's bladder when he had cancer.
Oh yeah.
And then there's a
send the TB in to get the cancer. I mean, why not?
Yeah, that's what. Well, what they do is they send the TB in, and then the body fights the TB.
Right.
Right, and then the shit that fights the TB also fights the cancer.
Right.
But the TB is dead, so they don't have to fight the TB.
Right. It just. Yeah, I get it. But syphilis-resistant humans.
I think that's the next stage.
Big Daddy.
In evolution.
Next week on the Media Virus Podcast, Big Daddy has set out to create a race of syphilis-resistant humanoids.
That's right.
In his own image.
And he should be honored. Honored for that. You know? That's medals, statues is what is Ricky chimes in, oh my God, science.
That's right. You get your shot of science on the C block here at the Media Virus.
That's right. Yeah. You needed science. But also, Pete thought he was funny.
Did he?
By changing his title to serial killer. So I changed it to
Man. Every time I blink, it changes.
He gets those Cheerios one at a time, folks.
That's right.
That's not true. I can't say that about Pete. Pete can carry 12 or 13 Cheerios and 2 cups of coffee.
No one's actually said out loud, but I changed it to is a serial rapist, but cereal is spelled like breakfast cereal. And to me, that's really
accurate. It's an accurate statement. I will fuck up a bowl of virtually any kind of cereal, except for grape nuts.
Without their consent, with or without their consent. I fucked that joke up. It's time to go.
I like grape nuts on ice cream. Anyway,
I like grape nuts. I like hot grape nuts.
Really?
Oh, that's the joke I was going to make.
What are you, like 85 years old?
Fuck off, man. That's the joke I was. Do you still have that coconut cup, Pete?
I do.
Let me say that. This just shows you how much Pete loves to drain nuts.
Is it a coconut cup, or did you just drill a hole in a coconut and pop a straw?
How long have you had that coconut?
That bad boy looks real, and I know you have tools.
It is, in fact, a real coconut.
And you drilled a hole in it?
Maybe.
With your dick?
Now, when you're done drinking the coconut water, will you be cracking it open to access the coconut flesh?
I will.
It's awesome roasted and smoked. It's not bad.
Dude,
raw.
Pete knows his way around some nut flesh. Don't you worry about it.
Speaking of roasting and smoking, what's the wood situation there at the old homestead? You still got logs?
I still got a giant pile of wood out back of the house.
Fantastic. I may have to get some of your wood.
Oh, wonderful.
And hopefully this spring we'll be able to do a live recording here at Uncle Butch Studios by the fire pond.
Yeah. That's going to be cool. But I think we should wind up. Let's just bring her home there, Mike.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on this 170th excursion into the Media Virus Podcast. On behalf of Grease Monkey Pete, Big Daddy, and Maddie Rockdeff, I'm Professor Mike Latoris, coming from to you live here at Uncle Butch Studios. This has been the 170th episode of the Media Virus Podcast, and we have loved bringing it to you. We will be back next week to do it all again and have even more fun.
Just hang on, because I want to give Mike a sound clip.
And there we go. Apparently, she wanted you to take the show on the road, Matt. She says,
Can we get the goodbye from the car?
From the car. So apparently you're going somewhere, whether you know it or not.
Oh, and
since I'm the only one watching, is Big Daddy blowing kisses?
Yes.
Were you blowing kisses? Ah, I see. Can we get the goodbye from the car? I don't know what that means.
I told you, you're going somewhere, whether you know it or not.
All right. Fantastic. Well, gentlemen, until next time.
Till next time.
Later.
Yep. Later.